Yeah. What's up, boys and girls? Happy Hump Day, Wednesday, man. October 26th, 2022. I hope you guys are doing all right. Hope you guys had a solid night last night. I think I literally made like $10 profit. Like, it was a wash. But it's better than losing. Better than losing. DFS, better than losing. Let me get the right playlist back up. Yeah, we went to some of the old school music. I have to go through this. I'm so discombobulated. What am I looking for? YouTube. Oh, stream approved. Yeah, labels. Labels. Alright. What's up, chat? How we doing, man? 40 of you guys already. K Johnson in the chat. Nate D. Mighty Saint. Jack. Cough. Tim. Ariel. Dez. Paul. Pojen Stoner. Dez says today's the day that the Lord had made. Let us rejoice. Amen. Hallelujah. Won't he do it? J and Y. What's up, Jay? Tom. I had Beal and Clay in a bunch of lineups last night. Clay got the old heave-ho. Beal got injured and then came back. It was weird. And then that was pretty much it. I'm trying to think who was my... Bradley Beal let me down. Norman Powell. Oh, Norman. Oh, I'm a silly goose for that one. I went crazy with Norman Powell last night. He played 30 minutes. 30 minutes. He was under 4K on FanDuel.com. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 turnovers. Minus 20 in the plus rating. That was not fun. That was not a fun experience to be obscenely overweight on. Luckily, I was also overweight on like Ivica Zubac, and that helped me out. Yeah, Norman Powell. I don't know. What up, Solo? What up, EB? What up, Luke? The big Luke. Yo, Luke, let me know when golf comes down. You want some of this NBA fire. What up, Arizona? Catch big last night thanks to Will Barton. Yeah, so that was, I mean, we talked about Will Barton. I think Will Barton was, like, if you played him, I don't think you're lucky-ish. I mean, you got benefit. I don't think you're a donk for playing him because he did, you know, he was looking okay as a potential value, especially pivot points ownership-wise versus the other chalkier guys at that point range. But Bradley Beal going down certainly did not hurt the situation, right? What up, Tom? Hope you're doing all right. Or Thomas and Tom. There's a lot of Toms. Dort killed me. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Looking at the slate leaders last night, Luka, no surprise, 68 fantasy points. SGA, 63, and then 53 fantasy points by Devin Booker. So if you think about SGA, and I think SGA and Luka was just straight up optimal. At the end of yesterday's show, I was really driving home the point, especially on those smaller slates. Somebody had mentioned about 6x on 11K. You need this, blah blah blah. I was like, no. I think if you are over 10 fantasy points higher than the next guy on a 4-game slate, you could be 13K. Like, Luka could have been 13K last night, maybe even 14K, and probably found his way into the optimal lineup. So it didn't make that much sense to be that anti-Luka. So hopefully that was a great example. I think yesterday in one of the FanDuel contests I was in, where it was 100K to first, Kyle Kuzma, who was like over 7K, had like 30 fantasy points, which normally not something we like at that price range, was still enough to win. So drive home and understand the differences between optimal and winning, right? You can still win a tournament with a suboptimal lineup. It happens literally every night. So if you are using a multiplier like the 5, 6, 7x, and that's fine as a baseline, I usually look for, I look at that for the 5 to 8K range. But once you get to the double digits, those big boys, those raw points tend to matter. And then also like the 5, 6X from the 3K guys tend to not matter as much. So don't get too stuck in the multiplier ways. Yeah. Anyway, what up, Sirius? Norman Powell cost me a takedown. Hey, what are you gonna do? What up, Kevin? My boy Booker got in Clay head. That was a little. That was something. Norman Powell should go to the G League. How he's been playing, it has been rough. It has been rough. Oh, also I was pretty heavy on. It wasn't last night, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. I like Mitchell, but he kind of afraid of a blowout. All right, let's pop open the slate. I started a little bit late, so I'm gonna try and talk a little bit more abbreviated, and try to make some time. What do we got? Maybe an hour and 10 minutes to go through this. Hour and 20 minutes, maybe. Huh? All right. Hey, you guys just do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get the vibes up. Let's get the likes up. And let's start doing some research. The stream powered by RunDFS.com. If you guys want the spreadsheet, I'll be referencing throughout the duration of this stream. And access to my player pool projections and premium Discord and pre-lock VIP voice chat. And no and then. Go to RunDFS.com, click VIP memberships, and sign up. Find something that's right for you. Every membership, literally every single one, comes with a voucher, a credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. If you're using an optimizer to manage your portfolio of lineups every night, it don't got to be 150. It could be 20. It could be 10. Go there. And it helps a lot, especially with dual position eligibility. It's so hard to hand build and memorize different guys. But if you are, I love to run 20 to 50 at night. 150 is fine too on a certain day. But yeah, Fantasy Cruncher is what I use, and you guys can get a voucher towards them. This is the last week for the season pass, so if you guys want that, lock in, hurry up, ASAP, arriba. And then the next year season pass, the sooner you get that, the more value it has. Since I'm gonna leave this up to the end of the season, the end of this year. So $100 credit to Fantasy Cruncher, $150 credit to Fantasy Cruncher. Let's go to Underdog Twitter before we matriculate onto the research side of things. What up, Mongo? Need some tiers help. Tier 4 got DeRozan, Fred VanVleet, Siakam, Gobert, Cat, and Drew. No salary, just ceiling games. Siakam sounds good, but I can look at the projection in a minute. So news to watch as of 3 p.m. Eastern via twitter.com/underdog2_NBA. Scotty Barnes. Tyler, appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel. Scotty Barnes, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Wait, why am I just reading names like it's a lineup? Scotty Barnes questionable. Russell Westbrook doubtful. LeBron James, AD probable. Miles Turner questionable. Jayshawn Tate's on track to play. Jeff Green is probable. Today I learned Jeff Green's in the league. Justice Winslow, questionable. And then let's scroll down, get caught up on. I know some stuff happened like right before I went live. Terry Rozier officially rolled out. Tim Hardaway, questionable. Michael Porter Jr. rolled out. All right, I'm going to have to tweak some of that. All right, cool. Let's pop open the spreadsheet. Let's get a little bit of grunt work done. Yo, Gun, what you like on PrizePicks today? I haven't looked at it yet, Catalza, but we'll try and bounce back and forth game to game. Matter of fact, let me open up a PrizePicks and an Underdog tab. So check this out, guys. I go to my fridge. I got like 10-15 minutes before we go live, and there's no energy drink. There's no Monster. There's no Bang. I was like, oh, fudge. How do I get some caffeine to me within the next 20 minutes? Well, there's only one option that can meet such a stringent deadline. A mocha frappe. So, if this does what I think it's gonna do, we're white clawing it tonight. Okay? Okay? Okay. Yeah, I had to pull up Underdog. So yeah, if you see me sipping on a mocha frappe with whipped cream, I'm gonna need you guys to find the chill. And yeah. Let's pop this open. No banks. I left Hector. I left the I don't know. I just had an inventory lapse last night. I didn't take inventory and prepare myself. What up, Vic? Hope you're doing all right. Everyone hates Chris. Maha. My doggone, it's been a minute. Yes, sir. Starbucks. It's not Starbucks. I wish it was. Magic and the Cavs project starting five for the Magic: Cole Anthony, Terrence Ross, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr. taking on Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, 215.5 total with a 8.5 point spread to favor the Cleveland Cavaliers. We got a lot of information on the Magic side. Markelle Fultz still out, Gary Harris still out, Jalen Suggs still out. Those are notable ones. And then Darius Garland still out for the Cavs. So one of the lowest totals we just might see on an average basis. We're seeing so many 230 totals lately. So on paper, a slow pace, low team total to attack, but we can find ourselves able to narrow down a more concentrated opportunity of usage. And obviously on the Cavs side, I think we have a big stranglehold on where the most usage comes from. We're looking at you, Donovan Mitchell, 9,400 on FanDuel, 95 on DK. I do believe at that price on a slate this size, we're going to want over 50 fantasy points to feel like it's going to give us a fighting chance at the top, but it certainly could. Let's go pull up the NBA Wowie tool from Add More Funds and do a little on-off action. It's happy hour on PrizePicks. Oh, nice. I always never do that. What up, Jim? Coffee gun, wake the F up. I mean, actually, I do have coffee. Why didn't I think about that? I literally ordered coffee when I have coffee. I don't know. Let's go to Cleveland here. Do some aesthetic exercises here. Just kind of paint a picture. Spida on. Garland off. I was at the Suns game. Booker was supposedly told Clay Ronnie was right about your 2K rating. I feel like that can't be. But that'd be crazy. Your boy Devontae went off last night. Did he? I don't. Did he? No, he didn't go off last night. He had 14 real points. I guess maybe for his sake. But this was like the flattest results you could have really got from the Pelicans, right? Low total. I think points per dollar, at least more on the FanDuel side. Alvarado was really the only thing that felt great. If you had some Dyson Daniels, you definitely own a time machine. But yeah, I don't call that going off. Donovan Mitchell on, Darius Garland off, almost 1.5 fantasy points per minute on DK, 1.4 on FanDuel, with a 33% assist rate. So yeah, he's doing a little bit of everything, and as this team goes, it means that Donovan Mitchell is going as well based on this lineup that's out here. And then Karis LeVert, a much harder click based on his potential volatility. However, points per dollar, if you are shooting at some ceiling at 5,900 on FanDuel, you could certainly project 30 plus. Same with 6,200. And if you want to take shares on Mobley and Jarrett Allen, I think Mobley's price points get into an area that there's going to be some spike games if it's at this area for a little bit. I'm getting a 40 fantasy point projection here, and so far the Magic are just getting demolished by opposing power forwards. But short sample DVP, not really overreacting to it, but it is a plus if we're trying to make check boxes for Mobley here. On the Magic side, Cole Anthony, intriguing, but no one here I think I'm going to run to. Bankero, 7,300, 7,500, need that 40 plus. This is going to be one of the tougher front court defensively that he's run into so far. So I could have some tapered expectations, maybe some more normalization, some neutralization on his per minute projection so far. I don't think he's going to be a bum by any stretch of the imagination. But a bigger slate like this, I feel like that price point, I'm going to save those bullets for later on the slate, and even maybe some late swap opportunities. So I'm probably going to be pretty down on the Magic altogether, and I'll have some shares of D-Mitch and maybe some Mobley and LeVert in deeper field tournaments. Like I definitely think 20 or less. I'm there on Donovan. But maybe not like an extreme aggressive number, because there is upside at the point guard position today. And there's upside overall. We got Giannis, Jokic, and B, guys like that. So maybe Mitchell falls a little bit flatter in ownership than a slate without those guys. 9,500, we have some tall requirements. I do think there's a chance that this game at a 215 total with the projected pace, there's a chance that no one here really breaks their price point. So I don't want to get too attached. Chat says, should I go get Duncan? I don't know if I don't think I have maybe I do have a Duncan, but it's not near me. T Ross for the money. I don't know if I could pay $5K for Terrence Ross in the year of our Lord 2022, but I certainly wouldn't shoot down. I guess if you paint a case that the Cavs are going to be an elite defensive front court, and they should be, maybe shooters have to shoot to keep this game competitive. So you could justify it, but I just don't think I want to live and die by Terrence Ross the first game at lock, by the way. At least be the last game, so I have some hope later on. Bobo's the best play in this game. Let's go. All right, moving on. Pistons hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Project 35 for the Hawks. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, taking on Cade Cunningham, Jay Nivey, Sadiq Bey, Bojan Bogdanovic, Isaiah Stewart. We got 229.5 total, 7.5 point spread. For the visiting Atlanta Hawks, it sure feels like the Pistons are on every single slate. Played last night. Cade Cunningham, why can't I quit you? Almost 8K on DraftKings, 7,500 on FanDuel. Getting a solid projection, but that has been the story of the year so far. The Pistons are probably going to fall into like stocking stuffers for me. I do think at point guard I can make priorities at the top here. So if a Cade Cunningham drops a 40-ish, I think that's like I'll take it, but I don't have to have like 40% like I have had on some slates. Guys like Bey, Bojan Bogdanovic, Isaiah Stewart, I think points per dollar, stocking stuffers, just put them in the back end of a tier 3 player pool. If they fall, they always project for like 30 fantasy points on the dot. And then, yeah, we'll take it where we get it. The Hawks side, Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, more intriguing to me than on opening day. We're starting to see some ability to coexist from a fantasy ceiling standpoint, but even perhaps from a little meet in the middle between floor and ceiling. In every game so far, Trae Young has essentially drops you 50 fantasy points. Now Charlotte, Orlando, Houston, certainly Charlotte and Hornet, Charlotte and Houston, two super positive pace matchups. But against Orlando, you saw deep minutes as well, 10-point spread, 20 plus shot attempts. The assists are nutty with it, averaging double-digit assists here, and getting to the free throw line 7-8 times a game here. So I do think the viability of him to continue to this little stretch of being able to drop 50 is great. And then DeJounte has been on the back a little bit more of some defensive peripherals, but that's who he is. 2 stocks, 4 stocks, 5 stocks. In the games where the stocks have been there, he's also kind of matched Trae Young in fantasy upside. And again, 108 points against Orlando. That's not a lot of points. Like if you told us right now that a team scoring 108 points, you don't feel as excited about it, especially when 9 to 10K is on 2 players that you would be interested. So there is a little bit of coexistence that I want to at least grab some. I think DeJounte, because of his likelihood to hit what we want him to hit, is going to be on the back of defensive peripherals. It makes him a little stronger option at a cheaper price. Not much, but a little cheaper price on FanDuel. So yeah, but I do think I can handcuff these two still and going forward in good spots and throw that blanket over, hopefully like an implied 100 fantasy points. With that said, elsewhere on the Hawks, okay, not great projection on John Collins for me. If it falls, it falls. On the Pistons side, I already discussed. I'll just throw a couple of these guys in the back end of a tier 3. If I run my crunch and I got 0%, like a Bay or Stewart or whatever, I'm not going to re-crunch. I'm just going to allow the optimizer to at least have that option and diversify if it so feels. Speaking of Trae, you guys mentioned PrizePicks. Does Trae Young assist prop anything crazy? 9.5. That's yeah. NBA potential assist. Let's see if Trae is up there in like top 3 in potential assists. I would assume he is, but potential assist. Yeah, Trae Young was 3rd in potential assists per game, 18 per game. So you need him to hit half, which is not crazy. Look, Tyrese Halliburton actually got a bigger lead on Harden in potential assists per game. So maybe that would be an option here. Yeah, maybe. Good tip. Never thought about guys being first lock versus last game of the night. More options early. Yeah, especially on the bigger slates. Like if you have those fringe, like just trying to get me between 25 35 guys, 35 fantasy point guys, you kind of save those bullets for potential late swap because that's where a lot of the edge is in NBA DFS as the lineups come out, as more news develops. So really would hate to be locked into like a Terrence Ross type guy who is super volatile just in and of himself, but even more so as a scoring dependent one, right? Bojan 40 DKP, let's go. I don't mind Bojan. I've been playing Bojan. Concerned about Cade. Ivy's hungering pretty good. He's good and will have a great career, but the question is fantasy upside this year. Yeah, I don't think that's like a bad take. I think at 8K, though, there's going to be games where he thrives. But yes, last year there was a little bit more of a show me and less balanced lineup. So I don't think that's crazy. Do we think Cade ends up being a 6K player? I don't know. But I think the mid 7Ks is probably a spot where he's going to be for a while. And it's just going to be like an EKG of success. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, huh? What up, Ronald? Hope you're doing all right. Bojan, it's going to be 8K soon. He might be. I have been playing Bojan. My first top 5 of the season ended up with Bojan. As a matter of fact, I think it was opening night or the Orlando game. But yeah, I think the minutes have been there for Bojan, double-digit shot attempts, and doing just enough to get you a shot at 30. But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like the Bojan, the Stewarts, the Sadiq Bays, I think their average game is a 25 to 30-ish median projection. That's literally where we're getting out of Bojan. So that's why, like, am I salivating over 5-4-30? No. Would I take it? Yeah. So that's why I just unlock them, and they'll be in my tier 3 category. And if the optimizer has a spot for them, call them up, suit up, kid, get in the game. Otherwise, like, I'm not gonna lose sleep because I didn't get a 5K 30 on a slate like this. So, all right, what up, Garrett? Bojan, I want Bo. Bucks hosting the Nets. Project starting 5 for the Nets: Kyrie Irving, Royce O'Neal, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton. Taking on Drew Holiday, Javon Carter, Grayson Allen, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez. 231.5 total, 4-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Man, if you're a Nets fan right now, what's happening? Like, how do you get this schedule off the rip? The Pelicans took it to you. The Raptors, scrappy defense. The Memphis, a finalist last year. This is a atrocious schedule, and they don't get better tonight. You get the Milwaukee Bucks. I guess some solace in the fact that Middleton is out, but yeah, uphill battle here. We did see a big spike game out of Kyrie against the Grizzlies. Kevin Durant is around 10K. If you expect this game to continue to be or to live up to a 230 total, and these two guys having to pick up the slack here in a slight underdog road roll, I think there's a case where you could put them together for an implied 50 or 100 fantasy points, and certainly a likelihood that one or the other drops 50. If you wanted to split hairs and kind of set a rule that you just wanted one or the other, I wouldn't talk you off of that. If that was the case, I'd probably lean a little bit more Kyrie, just because that style of basketball thrives a little bit more against the Bucks, the long range shooters, 3-point shooters. Bing bong.
Mahatop super chatted $1.99. Can you give your thoughts on my lineup in chat?
I can. Appreciate the $2 dono. Dennis Smith Jr., Trey Jones, Jalen Brunson, KCP, that's something. Giannis, Kelly Oubre, Evan Mobley, Jared Vanderbilt, Kelly Olynyk. Mahatma, can you give me a little more context, if you don't mind? Which site and how, like, what is that cash? Is that tournament? Is that, and how many entries are in that tournament? Like, that feels like super ceiling, low floor GPP tournament type of lineup, which is not bad if that's what you're going for. But if that's like a single entry under 1,000 or under 8,000, I feel like you might be taking a little bit too much risk at some spots. But overall, I don't have any pushback on any player individually. Maybe KCP is a little bit not on my radar. Am I missing something? Yeah, I'm not overly. I've never been overly enamored with KCP. But I mean, if you got that feeling in your bad knee, go for it. But for the most part, tournament upside, GPP 555. Okay, it's the 555. Then yeah, you gotta take some crazy wacky stands. I don't have any pushback specifically individually on any of those players, but that is certainly more of a first or last type of lineup, you know. Drew Holiday shows up to play KD every time. Book it. I can see that. It's real simple. Kyrie and KD for me. Ben Simmons is just going to be the death of me this season, man. I don't know how to throttle his projection because he always projects so well based on the information I feed my projection system. And he just doesn't do it, man. He doesn't do it. And this is one of those spots where the Bucks perennially the last couple of years have been really restrictive in points in the paint allowed. And if we look at this season, points in the paint allowed, the Bucks have allowed a bottom 6. Again, very small sample size on the season, but going back to last year, this hasn't been a score on us interiorly, and that's why it's been a funnel defense where teams make or hit more threes against them. It's a little bit of both, right? You're typically playing down 10 against the Bucks, so they have a good interior defense, and that's just going to funnel more 3-point shots. So this is actually a bad spot for scoring for Ben Simmons based on that. But man, I almost feel like I'm at the slot machine with this guy. 5 shot attempts in the back-to-back games, 3 shot attempts in game 1. So a little bit of stuff in the stat sheet. Maybe some more rebounds would have made us a little bit more happy. Basically, I'd probably put him in that category of closer to 30 fantasy points than not, but boy, does the model want to keep spitting out 40. Maybe I have to look around and see if I'm not the only one struggling with a Ben Simmons projection, but might have to gut call him out of the mix. Kyrie, KD for me. On the Bucks side, Drew and Giannis certainly. I was going to run a on-off court tool, but you guys get it. Giannis is an absolute beast. I do believe Giannis is right now number 2 on the slate for me in raw fantasy points. So, right there with Jokic, and with Jokic getting the benefit of MPJ down, maybe that holds. But even if they're going to get closer in projection as we get closer to lock, I love them both. If I had a tie break, I might go the Giannis way. Bing bong.
John 123 super chatted $10
for my coffee. Appreciate that, Hector. Hector, where you been, bro? You been in county, bro? I haven't seen you anywhere, bro. I haven't seen you in the Twitch streams. I haven't seen you around, bro. You out there living life. I hope the family's good, bro. Playing the turbo slate. Is Jalen Smith still worth it at 5'7" if Turner plays? I think Jalen Smith's going to be a per-minute animal no matter what. So the short answer for me is yes, but I would say the range of outcomes is a little bit funkier. I don't know that Turner's going to be... I don't know. Because we saw games where Isaiah Jackson and Jalen Smith were both getting there fantasy wise as well. And Turner's one of those guys that he could have a big game that doesn't necessarily negatively influence Jalen Smith in that the big GPP game for Turner's are 3, 4, 5 blocks sometimes. So that could just be more rebounds for Jalen Smith. So I'm gonna say short answer, I wouldn't overthink it, but it's certainly something we need to watch. But I'm personally not going to let it get me away. In the most weatherman, not real answer, you know? Didn't Simmons lock down Giannis in preseason? If he did, I'm not going to overthink that. I locked down Giannis. It's just that's a sentence. But I mean, if somebody wants to smart me up, go for it. I'm getting, yeah, let's get James Smith 2M's out of here. All right, cool. Vacationing, got that guap, big dog, living life to the fullest, enjoying every moment. Let's go, bro. I'm happy to hear that, Hector. You should come around more. Get to gambling, bro. None of that happy family bullcrap around here. None of that touching grass. I'm gonna need you in the lab. Gambling. Giannis bullied Simmons in preseason. All right. Even if it was the inverse, I wouldn't let that impact my Giannis. I think Giannis in a close spread at home statement game. I'm here. Give me some Giannis. Drew Holiday. I guess that's the stronger question here is what do we do with Drew? So let's go to the on-off court tool. Let's put Milwaukee. We like to have fun here. Heck, you gotta stop by the Fortnite streams, bro. They've been kind of crazy lately. We're dying laughing every night. It's like the old days. All right, let's put Drew in the mix. Trying to get back in the game. Let's go. If you've been out for a minute, a lot of the community has also supplemented their DFS play on the prop side now that props have become more widely available. Sites like Underdog and PrizePicks, stuff like that, have become more and more popular. So if you feel overwhelmed, like if this is your first slate back in 2 years, you should probably take it easy, and go check out PrizePicks. And then when you do, you should probably use code GUNDECKER when you sign up. They'll probably double your first deposit up to $100, and you'll probably be happy that you did it. 1.15 fantasy points per minute for Drew Holiday. 16% usage, so the usage isn't great. The 35% assist rate is pretty doggone impeccable. I'm there on that. What is the Drew Holiday assist rate in a game flow like this? Or excuse me, assist prop 7.5. Drew. How high up is Drew in a potential assist per game? He's at 14, so he is maybe a little bit extra efficient to hit that prop, but it is a spot I don't mind. So Drew Holiday's going to be in the pool, but I'm going to have way more Giannis. Giannis might be Giannis is going to be a high-end tier 2 for me. And then Kyrie, if I had to rank plays in this game in terms of what my exposure probably looks like, Giannis 1, Kyrie, Ben Simmons, or not Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, and then Drew Holiday. And then I have to meditate. I'll light a candle. I'll sit under the wise old tree in the front yard and see what the spirits say about Ben Simmons. You think Justice Winslow plays tonight? Revenge game? Stop it, Solo. No. I don't know if he plays or not, but we're not out here playing Justice Winslow, bro. Simmons locking down Giannis is crazy. No one can stop Giannis. Yeah, exactly. Ben foul out Simmons. All right, move on to the next game. Knicks hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Dennis Smith Jr., Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Mason Plumlee taking on Jalen Brunson, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. 225.5 total, 7-point spread for the home team, New York Knicks. So I was pretty sure Rozier was going to be out today, but that was some confirmation stuff about 10-15 minutes before I clicked the go live button. So the Hornets look a lot different. No LaMelo, no Terry Rozier. And this is a lineup that we have to string together the pieces. And I was thinking Dennis Smith Jr. would just like be obvious value, but he is 6K. So I would say there's a little bit more likelihood that 6K maybe doesn't turn into a slate-breaking result against a team like the Knicks. But I don't even know what to do. I think Kelly Oubre is the obvious. I don't know the word obvious here. I don't know. Let's do some math. Let's go Oubre. Just go Oubre. Let's take LaMelo and Rozier off. Smith, Oubre, Gordon Hayward, I would assume all have extremely elevated usage rates. I think Oubre mathematically would lead the team in usage, like going back to the beginning of last year. Yeah, so far this year, 25% usage rate, right there neck and neck with Dennis Smith and Gordon Hayward. But the minutes is so light on that. I want to maybe elongate on that, but Dennis Smith Jr. is not really a factor in that split. So, I guess this is where we discuss this, man. What are you guys thinking here? What are we doing with this situation? Oubre's been over fantasy point per minute without Melo, without Rozier on the court. Gordon Hayward right at a fantasy point per minute. PJ Washington's there, but I don't know the spot for PJ. I think the Knicks front court is going to be a little bit stronger. So I think if we're painting a picture for the Hornets to be a little bit more competitive, and it's not off the back of Terry Rozier, I would guess Oubre is your leading scorer, and Dennis Smith Jr. would have to contribute as well. So that's how I would rank it. But I'll be honest, the price points don't make me feel like excited. I'm still not getting a massive projection. So how are you guys attacking this? I'm thinking Oubre is the most alluring tournament upside option with Dennis Smith there. We've seen Dennis Smith not kill you in spots like this, but it could also just be like unremarkable and somewhat irrelevant, right? If he just drops 36, whatever, Like, you take it, but it's like you don't feel like you needed to do it. So, I don't know. MIA 305, man. Appreciate that. So, welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing great. What up, Neville? Hope you're doing all right. What up, Cheyenne? What up, Joe Smith? I'm liking the Linux against Houston as a cheap option at center if Miles Turner's out, leaning towards him. I don't mind that. I love picking on the front court for Houston. I love just picking on Houston. What up, C. Carter? Hope you're doing all right. Aunt Maurice in the house. DSJ always scares me. Yeah. Kendrick Nunn, no Westbrook. That's fine. Mitchell Rob Knight, I don't mind it. Why'd you break your TV gun? Bruh. I will say, now that the wife and kids are in the hotel, it's a lot more peace and quiet, a lot more fun for Fortnite. Oh my gosh. Dude, why are the haters coming out, bro? What the heck? I've had to, like, ban a couple people. They're getting auto-flagged by YouTube, but why us? We just out here vibing, bro. You save that stuff for someone else, man. I don't know. We don't do that. Julius Randle about to have 20 rebounds. Yeah, the Hornets have just been bleeding, hemorrhaging fantasy points to opposing front courts anyway, and that's been a thing going back to last year. And Julius Randle has been big minute McGillicuddy for the Knickser, and we've seen some ceiling games from him. The Orlando game 2 nights ago, 49 fantasy points, 12 rebounds, double-digit rebounds 2 of the 3 games so far. Maybe you get a rebound prop on Randle, but I am a little bit worried about the scoreboard. 10 rebounds, sure, we'll take that. 41.5 fantasy. I'm looking at 42. So the projection is linear, but the rebounds is an interesting call. I don't mind that. Might have to promote a couple new mods here. Not excited about this match. I feel like no one's a lock at their price. I agree, Kevin. I think, like, we're so used to a situation like this, next man upping like a 4K, 3K guy. That's not the case here, so. Playing 3 max, and I got Oubre in 2 or 3 of my lineups. Yeah, Oubre is the most alluring for me. I think he's the most likely to, like, drop 40 plus, right? Yeah. Jam RJ on FanDuel, keep it moving. I can dig that. 5,900 for RJ Barrett on FanDuel, and the minutes on RJ. 38. That 28 against Detroit, lopsided game. Most of those guys either played very little in the fourth quarter or not. So in a more competitive net neutral game within 10, 15 points, 38 minutes of RJ Barrett against the Charlotte Hornets going to project pretty well. I think I was a little bit conservative, went 34, still getting a solid number at that 59. Does he make that tier 3? Guys that can get you 30, the Sadiq Beys, the Bojans, guys like that, maybe. But I feel like he has a little bit more likely ceiling just because of the matchup and yeah. All right, let's move on to the next game. Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Toronto Raptors. Project 35 for the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, Joel Embiid taking on Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam. 212 total. 9.5. I don't know what I just typed. What did I type? 212 9-2. I just typed like coordinates from Alien Invasion. Let's go look at Vegas odds. I have no idea what I meant there. It doesn't feel right to sip out of a mocha frappe on air, bro. I feel like you guys are judging me. Judgment. It's just... Philly. And then I'm always like thinking I got whipped cream on my lips, and this is all bad over here. Hey, yo. All right, so I meant to type 211.5. 1.5 point spread. For the Sixers? Okay. Lit. This is so the Raptors again, one of those teams that play slow pace. Matter of fact, I think these two teams are 2 of the slowest paced teams so far. Philadelphia, slowest paced team in possessions per game so far. Toronto's down there as well. So that's kind of par for the course, the expectation. So I don't have a ton of implied possessions here, but we can throw a big net over projected minutes and usage. Last game, James Harden thrived in the foul trouble woes of Joel Embiid, but Harden's still just been that guy, pal. So at 9,600 on DraftKings, 10.8 on FanDuel. More so the DraftKings price point. I could see a world where 50 fantasy points hits at a decent clip. I don't think that we're going to get concentrated ownership on Harden in this matchup, so we might not have to give it too much equity in our portfolio lineups to be there. And Joel Embiid, looking for 50 plus, got him projected for 50 plus. So both those guys can make the player pool for me. The Raptors side, I guess we really want some definitive Scotty Barnes news. Let me pull up the Raptors news and notes. And also let me check the RunDFS.com VIP Discord if any news came out. No news came out other than Keegan Murray will start Thursday, and Woj says Westbrook unlikely to play tonight on ESPN. Toronto. Scotty Barnes is questionable with a right ankle sprain. He has a shot at playing Wednesday after Nick Nurse said he'd, quote, miss some time following Saturday's injury. It's an optimistic update, but savvy fantasy managers. All right, cool. That's a blurb from NBC Sports Edge. Make sure you guys have that tab open. So, if Scotty Barnes did not play, we should have Precious Achiuwa in the chamber, ready to fire. I do think at over 5K, in perhaps a more foul-prone spot against a guy like Embiid, maybe the upside game that we got last time out that I surely enjoyed is a little bit low, but 34 minutes in back-to-back games, 35, 44 fantasy points. It just needs to be a point per minute, and we can use him as a solid stocking stuffer. I would say the biggest pushback is that he is center only on DraftKings, and there's going to be some centers that also project pretty well, 50s, 60s. Jokic is one of the highest raw point projections on the slate. Same with Joel Embiid. Siakam even in the same game, intriguing. So there's that, but certainly in the optimizer when I'm creating my player pool, Precious will be in the mix should Scotty Barnes be unable to go. Big minutes out of Siakam every game so far, picking up where he left off last year and being very involved, especially in the facilitation so far. 6 or more assists in 3 games straight and almost 20 shot attempts. So don't mind him as a piece to keep this game close. And then that's kind of it. Maybe something to watch would be an Embiid free throw prop with how the Raptors are pretty block-centric, and guys like Chris Boucher in the rotation, Scotty, a younger player, Precious Achiuwa. I wonder if we can get a solid Embiid like free throw prop at 7.5. I don't see any, but if that does open, would be something I'm interested in. 9, 15, 9. Yeah, they'd probably at that rate drop it at 8.5, 8. But something to watch out for if it opens up closer to lock if you're trying to get some different lines. Let me refresh chat here. 200 plus hanging out, man. I appreciate that. Guys, can we all just slap that thumbs up button? Help me out. I try to break 100 thumbs up every game, every stream. James Bouknight's in a really nice spot, says Cheyenne. Only DSJ and Theo barely joined the team. If it wasn't for that DWI he got last week, I would literally lock him in all my 16 lineups. Hey, he's played since then, so it's not. I mean, he's played, so I don't think that's crazy. If you just look for that value guy, I might have to explore a little bit deeper. What up, Craig? Hope you're doing all right. Welcome back. KJ says, count me on chalk. DSJ, let's go. Is he chalk? I'm looking at ownership projections from this morning, and that's when Rozier was already doubtful, I think. He's not chalk, but he's not low owned, or he's not a 30%er, you know? Might pivot to Richardson. So on the projections that I saw, Richardson was the highest owned player on the slate. So if that holds up, it would be a negative pivot if you're just trying to avoid ownership, at least based on the projection. It might update. I might have an old update. Who do you got, Siakam or Van Vliet scoring more? I would almost always bet on Siakam in a 1v1 between those two for fantasy, just because Siakam does a little bit of everything and likely to get more of the defensive peripherals than the rebounds. In the projection for Siakam versus Van Vliet, I have Siakam up by 5 on DraftKings. He had like 6 WIs. Not sure he's not in prison. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I don't think I missed anything. Glenn, since Martin has come off his suspension for Miami, you should get around 30 minutes. Yeah, he probably starts again. He was starting in the lineup for them, so I would imagine it goes right back to that, Jim. Chicago Bulls hosting the Pacers. Projection 25 for the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton, Aaron Nesmith, Buddy Hield, Jalen Smith, Miles Turner taking on Ayo Dosunmu, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. 234.5 total. 7.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Chicago Bulls. The Pacers, so far, that team that when they're on the slate, or when we open up our slate, we find the Pacers. It used to be find the Hornets, find the Spurs. Well, the Pacers may have entered the conversation as that team to pick on. We'll see if Miles Turner fixes that. I don't think it does, but we'll see. So far this season, in terms of possessions per game, the Pacers are up there, top 10. Defensive rating, the Pacers are bottom 4, and this was something that was down the stretch last season for them. And they're just a team that we want to pick on. Unfortunately, the Bulls offer a big 3 that might make it a little bit more trolly and self-filtering to do, but I think the price points on these guys individually for the matchup have room for ceiling, and I will probably, in my bigger portfolio of lineups, get here and do the usual where I maybe put 3 in a group and just say 2 of these 3. And I guess I could accomplish that by just maxing 2 Bulls in a lineup. But man, it's just such a good spot. Vucevic coming off a super strong game against the Celtics, right? The birthday game that some guy in front of a YouTube camera was pushing back on. 23 rebounds, certainly something that we expected that night. But the double-digit shot attempts is something we expect game to game. And I think in this spot, the rebounds I would not expect against the Pacers. I know Turner is going to be an upgrade to literally anyone that they wanted to start at the 5 today, but he could be lighter on minutes, miss a stretch right off the rip of the season, and it's still like not somebody I'm running from. Turner's usually a block-centric energy big, and sometimes those blocks turn into fouls. So I think Vucevic is a strong option. I have him right there for a solid 40 fantasy point dart, and then LaVine versus DeRozan. LaVine being the cheaper of the two, I probably land on him more, especially considering the pace-up spot, and that plays really well for LaVine. But yeah, I think I'm more on the Bulls today than I typically am on a modest to big slate that involved the Bulls, just because the matchup is so pure. And speaking of which, Tyrese Halliburton, are we just not gonna move his price like to 9K? I'm okay. I just want to know. 8,300. That's the same price he was last game. He was 8K the game before, 79. So he's essentially moved $400 in 4 games, and in every one of those games has looked great, like great. And we showed you he leads the league in potential assists per game at 21. So this guy's essentially a walking double-double with points and assists. I'm just saying, I feel like his price is disrespectful. Assist prop on him today is 9. I'm fine with taking the over. I'm sure the 38.5 fantasy points I have projected for slightly over. So if I wanted some Halliburton PrizePicks action, it'd probably be on the assist line. And then and Jalen Smith, 5,900 on FanDuel, 57 on DK. I get the trepidation if Miles Turner plays. We're worried about what does this mean for Isaiah Jackson, Terry Taylor, like Goga Bitadze. Are all these guys still getting minutes? What happens? Does some guy get the DNP? I feel like all of those scenarios are possible. But per minute, Jalen Smith, also a guy that can shatter his projection, or his points per dollar, rather, at this price point. So there's a lot of Jalen's, bro. What happened 22 years ago? 25, 28 minutes last 2 games for Jalen Smith, 37, 46. Just insane production. And this isn't like brand new. We saw shades of this last year. So I think Jalen Smith makes the player pool as well. Him and Halliburton. Unless there's some definitive verbiage from the coach about Miles Turner's availability in minutes, I got to assume an ankle injury prevented him from getting the cardio that we want on a big slate at 6K at center. So probably just Jalen Smith, Halliburton, some of the big 3. And then Buddy Hield is like a question mark. I'll put him in the back end of the tier 3. Where he falls. Benedict Mathurin. Are we still getting soft props for him in terms of real points on PrizePicks? We don't have anything for him. Okay, cool. I think the price is fine. I'm more so interested in the point prop. If they can keep his point props around like 16.5, 17.5, I might have some modest interest there. It feels a little bit more game script proof if he's coming off the bench as a rookie trying to get reps. Yeah, no. I hope J. Rich don't pull a Norman Powell. Man. Man. Can you look at DeAndre Hunter points prop on Underdog? Sure. By the way, if you guys aren't on Underdog and you also want another place to get a little bit of action, a little bit of pick'em, you see they have some lines that differ from PrizePicks. Also have more lines in some spots than others, and they also have fantasy points versus PrizePicks. So you guys should definitely be over here. And if you're not, we'll copy and paste that promo. They will also double your first deposit up to $100. And versus last year they didn't have this insurance flex option. This year you do. If you don't know, now you know. So you should be over there, and you should click that link in chat, and you should double your first deposit because they also show love to the stream as a sponsor. So the question was, can I look at DeAndre Hunter? Ooh, a lot of options here. 15.5 points. Is that the question that you had? Points specifically? Vucci Gang spent 10 racks on a new chain. It's crazy. Can you look at DeAndre Hunter points prop on Underdog? 15.5 points is the line. Looking at what he has done with a facilitator like not only Trae Young, but DeJounte's a pass guy as well. 11, 12, 15 shot attempts. Has not cleared 15.5 yet. So that would be one that I wouldn't want action on. I certainly I wouldn't want to sweat the over, but the shot volume's there. So like if you had that feeling in your bad knee with the storm coming in, go for it. I don't think I can co-sign either way. It's just something I'm not on. All right, I'm selective when it comes to that. Yo, Chad Freeland, man, appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing all right. Tell us about yourself. We'll wait. Arizona says, Vooch, my favorite center tonight. Been waiting for this game. He's going across. Let's go. Am I the only one who didn't play any Powell? Still lost? Suck bull. I wish I didn't play any Powell. Can someone write the best recommended picks for today only according to him? Oh man, Beard, I think when we're going game by game here, I'm thinking from a first place upside tournament game theory thought process here. So it is a lot to cast a net over, but it's really just stirring the pot of thoughts here. There's going to be so much noose, why did I say it like that, between now and lock that some of this could switch. So I would certainly say be flexible, be on your toes, be able to adjust. How about Jock Landale with that value yesterday? Yeah, somebody mentioned him in chat. I didn't. I mean, I talked about it. Somebody did. Found Guns channel. What's up, Joe? Watch on Stochastic. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm still everywhere. Matter of fact, I think we got some Stochastic content coming up tomorrow for No House Advantage, and then over the weekend. Am I streaming on Twitch? All right, I do have a Twitch channel, but it has nothing to do with this. Twitch is just like old guy plays Fortnite every night, literally every night. But yes. How are your screams from the Yankees? Man, they're not using this stadium right now. So I was just like, hey, you guys think that maybe I could? And they're like, yeah, sure. Just turn the light off when you leave. I was like, bet. Norman Powell sucks. Not what you want. All right, what was I doing? All right, let's move on to the next game. San Antonio Spurs. Oh, the question was DeAndre Hunter points. Like I guess I can look at the prop projection I have for Hunter, But Hunter's just like a guy I probably never want to sweat one way or the other. I'm at 14.5. So again, that's within one of the line, and then it's DeAndre Hunter. So I just don't want to do it. So I don't want to be responsible for co-signing the over or under on that. That's just a guy I never sweat. News, not news. My bad, EB. Hold up. Hey, don't cancel me. I just meant new. I pronounced it funny. Spurs at the T-Wolves. Project 35 for the Spurs. Trey Jones, Josh Primo, Jeremy Sochin, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? Taking on Minnesota. The Timberwolves, D'Angelo Russell crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, and Rudy Gobert. 234.5 is our total. 9-point spread in favor of the home team, Minnesota Timberwolves. So yeah, Trey Jones, solid points per dollar play in my book. Really getting a massive projection. Devin Vassell is out, so only ups the potential upside for a guy like Trey Jones. The Josh Primo sweepstakes with Josh Richardson, that looks like it could shape the slate, especially at last glance. Jay Rich was one of the highest owned players on the slate. I don't know how I feel about that. It does have Norman Powell type vibes because of their historical volatility, but I certainly understand it. So I'm open for any hot takes or cold takes that you guys might have, but I do think the lean that I can't get away from is playing Trey Jones. But I also could see this game getting smoked out because of Devin Vassell's contribution so far being so important to the San Antonio Spurs offense, right? We're trying to replace 20 real points, 15 plus shot attempts. Do I trust Josh Richardson to fill that role? Josh Primo, maybe. But Trey Jones seems like the constant here. So I think Trey Jones might be my player. So stupid. God, chat, I don't know why I'm like this today. What's in this mocha? Let's go San Antonio. Do you like Poeltl, even though it's gonna be playing Gobert and Cat? Just like usage and opportunity wise, I like the thought of Poeltl, but yes, the matchup, more so the Gobert side, does give me reason to be pessimistic. That's when I would look at projected ownership versus the probability of optimization. So for instance, right now Poeltl is projected at one of the top 5% 5 guys owned at 1 and 4. So the ownership's probably a little thick. 2 C's, no K for my liking, but I like the thought of them. So if you trust them, there's an alarm. I had to make sure it wasn't like a fire alarm. It sounds like it's a car alarm. Sorry. Let's go Trey Jones. Boy, that's a loud car alarm. Let's take off Vassell. And I guess DeJounte, going back to last year a little bit. They have no idea how far. EB, wait, you're in the you be listening to Discord? Wait, who the heck is EB in the Discord? Now that EB, who are you in the Discord? All right, so putting Trey Jones, Jakob Poeltl on, taking off Devin Vassell, DeJounte Murray from the beginning of last year. Now, this isn't going to be super stable, but it's a point of reference, if nothing else, and the sample size on minutes isn't great anyway. But over fantasy point per minute for Trey Jones, Jakob Poeltl, Keldon Johnson, and the prices on Trey Jones and Jakob Poeltl make them extremely interesting. Keldon Johnson's up there as well. I think the mistake that the field might make here is expecting the Devin Vassell production to be replaced by a Primo 1-to-1 and especially a J Rich, and that scares me. So I don't know. That's when I'm gonna light that incense and meditate on a couple guys to the DFS spirits. Ben Simmons, Josh Primo, Josh Richardson, a lot going on. But Trey Jones seems like somebody I'm not gonna be able to get away from. What is Trey Jones' prop over here at 13.5 real points? We didn't get a fantasy prop for Trey. What about on Underdog? 13.5 real points. What do I got him at? I have him at 16 points, so I might lean the over on real points if we wanted a lower line to sweat. And he's somebody I'm a little bit more enthusiastic about playing than the J Riches and the Primos. Double-digit shot attempts. Yeah, I think I like Trey Jones real point prop over on PrizePicks. So let me add that to the list. Buck Near, appreciate the sub, man. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing all right. Let's go Trey Jones over. We said 13.5 was the line. Yeah, okay. I'll take that. No Devin Vassell. The front court defense. I'll take Trey Jones for 7 buckets. What up, Javante? What up, Roscoe? What y'all say about OG today? Mofo was working with his cardio last game. Yeah, so OG is always, I won't say always. There is some chance where, or some games last year we saw him getting 17 to 20 points a game during a stretch. But it's usually like when there is no Scotty Barnes and Gary Trent is down, something like that. He's a guy that I expected to be more defensive minded and more peripheral minded for fantasy value and upside. So based on the matchup, I wouldn't be that enthusiastic about him. Right now, he's like wasn't on the radar. Ben Simmons or Karis LeVert on turn. Stop it. Probably Karis LeVert. Ben Simmons got me in trouble last season. I haven't got a membership but I advise like if we're yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, the pre-lock Discord gets a little crazy. It's a little less crazy with Raj being a little bit more restricted. But usually Raj would roll up with some craziness. I think I take my chances on Joe Harrison, none over Richardson. Primo's okay. So I think Richardson has a ability to fill out the stat sheet a little bit more, but I don't expect him to be a 20+ real point guy. I guess we did get a taste of that against the glorious matchup with the Indiana Pacers. Maybe I'm too pessimistic, but I don't know. I'm certainly I just don't. I'm not in love. I don't trust it, but the price is low enough that we can get behind. Stevie Ball Game, I appreciate that sub, man. Welcome aboard. Yo, we might get to AK this week at this rate. Still some meat on the bone for Noel. Yeah, I'm getting okay. I think at that point, I mean that would be one of your pivots to the higher owned Primos and J Riches. I think the 3,900. I get the idea behind J Rich. So I don't if you came into this slate wanting to play them, I don't want to get you off of it, but I just have a volatility versus ownership scare. You know what I mean? Josh Richardson, DKP by game log with. Let's go 30. Let's go 25 minutes. I think 25 minutes is enough. Let's go last 60 games. So, I guess 20+, that dog will hunt just whatever. But in tournaments, I would like closer to 30 at that ownership to feel like it was a pressure point for me. 20.5, 26, 23, 27, 30, 30. I mean, it's closer than I thought on floor versus ceiling. So I gotta at least concede that, you know? Yeah, I gotta at least concede it. But if he dropped like the 20s, the 14s, it's, you know what I'm saying, that we saw in Boston, no. But I'll give him credit for being a little bit more stable in the 20+. And because he is so cheap, he's at 3,900 on DK. His ability to fill a spot in your lineup and get you that studs and scrubs build is there. I guess here's what I would ask: if you knew right now, at 3,900, Josh Richardson was getting you 25 fantasy points, no more, no less, just straight up 25 at 3,900, and he was gonna be 30% owned, would you lock it? Would you just take it and run? I don't think there's a wrong answer. It's just a game theory thought. And you would think that if you and 30% of the field had that 25, you still have a chance to have the lineup to finish first. What would you do? And I think that's how you approach Josh Richardson tonight. Now, I think that you could also run that question a few times, get all the way down to 22. 22 fantasy points seems a little less appealing, but yeah. 25 is just right there. It's mid, right? Won't cut it. Nah. I don't think I think if you told me it was 25 on the die, I would, and 30% of the field had that, I would be out. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be. Like, if you're playing single entry, that 25, just you'll take it and run. You know what I'm saying? So I think the answer would be in big fields, heck no, I wouldn't take that. And smaller fields, cash games for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Let's get caught up. Depends on the lineup for Richardson. Yeah. None. Bruce Brown, Richardson, Noel, my favorite value play today. Okay, Doug. I like Lonnie Walker. Seems to always get points and might need to score more tonight. Okay. Not at the ownership. The ownership is, it's the ownership for me. Kyle Lowry on FanDuel percentage. I don't have that at my fingertips right now. I can't imagine it's anything crazy, right? Like, there's no reason it would be at that. Let me go look. Wow, Kyle Lowry, 5,100. Isn't that close enough to like Trey Jones? It's a 1,200. I can't imagine there's any reason, like somebody, unless I missed a gaping piece of news. On FanDuel, Harris is cheaper than Richardson. I like the upside. Joe Harris, I would probably push back a little bit on that. Richardson he sucks, but man, even when usage increases, it's not even. I don't know. We're spending a lot of time here, but it's worth it. But I think Josh Richardson can get more peripherals than we're giving him credit for, and we can funnel a little bit of favorability to him if the front court struggles against like Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? Oh, Jamal Murray on FanDuel thoughts. I don't mind him, especially with MPJ out. Probably won't be like the apple of my eye. But let's move on to a game that will probably be the apple of my eye. The Houston Rockets at the Utah Jazz, running it back. Another home and home, back to back, but a day of rest in between. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jabari Smith taking on Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, Jared Vanderbilt, Kelly Olynyk, Jayshawn Tate looks like he could be in today. Bruno Fernando, Alperen Sengun out. Garuba, we expected him to start and be the chalk of the century, and he didn't start. He was still high owned and busted. And that leaves us now with Jayshawn Tate as a wild card, guessing on what the heck's going to happen here again. But I think the constant that we can lean on is Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green. And then the Utah side, Lauri Markkanen, 6,500 on DraftKings, had his first bad game against these Houston Rockets. 31 minutes played, 14 real points, still took 19 shot attempts, but the peripherals, half the rebounds we'd seen in the 2 games prior, and the peripherals were meh. So I'm willing to forgive and forget, and I think 6,500, right, the median outcome for the Lauri Markkanen that we know and love is probably like 36, but from what we saw this summer and what we got a taste of in the 2 mid games here, there is real 40-plus fantasy point potential, especially in a matchup that I think is going to be as fruitful as the Rockets. So I'm willing to forgive and forget, goldfish memory that one at 6,500 and get right back to the well, get my money back. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Clarkson, cool, he's playable. You guys have been talking about Kelly Olynyk. I'm fine with that. I'm getting a great projection on both sides for Kelly O. I think that last game was not trappy, but it was a back-to-back after playing 2 overtime games. So it could have been a little bit winded. Now we've got a couple days of rest. We're right back in the saddle. I think 5,600, there's plenty of meat on the bone for him. Solid floor to ceiling ratio. I'm there on it, and I love the forward eligibility, making him much more versatile. I like the versatile bigs like that versus the versatile guards. Put him in 3 positions in your DK lineup, and he's also I believe the same over on FanDuel, right? Yeah, center power forward. So I'm all about some Kelly O here. Yeah, and that's all I got to say about that. Groob is a bad word. Is it? It could literally be a bad word in a dialect that I don't speak, and I would believe you. As a Toronto Raptors fan, I faded Powell for Kennard, paid off. Powell's inconsistent poop. Okay, Sen, listen, we're past the Norman Powell stuff, guys. We don't need to keep bringing it up. It's a sore subject with me. Darn it. I'm just kidding. Love you, Sen. Joe Harris minutes went up, and I just can't play Richardson. I think Joe Harris, like, I don't want to disagree with the point, like I don't want to disagree for the sake of disagreement, but I don't think Joe Harris wins that 1v1 for me, just because Joe Harris is so scoring dependent, right? And just looking at his Spurs career, and a lot of this is with DeJounte Murray. So no Murray, no Devin Vassell, like shooter's gonna shoot. I just think I think he's way more likely to get to 25 than Joe Harris is off of a year break and a couple games now that he's ramped up. Because Joe Harris has a couple of 14s and 16s. So I share the volatility sentiment of Josh Richardson with you, but I can't ignore the higher levels of volatility in Joe Harris is basically what I'm getting at. Larry just shot poorly, yeah. Which Precious Price didn't go up? Yeah. All right, so this is one of my game stacks that I'll probably be attacking. Also, don't mind the thought of KJ Martin, Kenyon Martin on FanDuel, small forward, power forward, 4,200. Looking for 20 plus. The minutes went up in that last Utah game in the absence of Bruno Şengün. Didn't really do anything with it, but I don't mind him in the rotating as a stocking stuffer, potential value play. All right, 2 games left. Let's do it real quickly. Lakers at the Nuggets. Project starting 5 for the Lakers: Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverly, Lonnie Walker, LeBron James, Anthony Davis taking on Jamal Murray, KCP, not MPJ, probably Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. 229 total, 5-point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets. Has that moved at all since I've been blabbering? It's still about 5. So Nuggets favored here. So MPJ being off, would this stabilize our expectation for a guy like Jokic? Little play-up matchup, ESPN, national TV, LeBron James, Anthony Davis? Maybe. Denver. Any tier 1s or 2s? You know, Justin, I've really just been thinking out loud rather than tiering guys too much. I think if we had a tier, like if I had a tier 1, meaning like guys that I expect to be super high owned on, I think Trey Jones is up there. Giannis is up there. What am I doing with my life? Michael Porter, get him out of here. Let's put Jokic and Murray on. Oh, I was going to say no sample size? Really? Monte Morris in the mix as well. But Jokic could get closer to 30% usage. So that's good. Jokic right now projected for the most fantasy points in my model. I think Giannis could give him a run for his money. I know you guys have been a little bit pessimistic on Jokic's per game production, and I've been saying, man, I think it's a little bit of a lot, right? It's MPJ is back. He can be involved. Jamal Murray can be involved. He got in big foul trouble against Portland. Yusuf Nurkic per minute, still way over a point per minute. We've already seen the 60 bombs out of him in more porous front court matchups. I think the Lakers matchup is an interesting one because in short sample size, we got some fun metrics to play with. But defensive rating for the Lakers has been second best in all of basketball. Do we believe that? I don't necessarily think I don't, but I don't know that I do. So I guess the question is, are you guys going more Jokic or Giannis tonight? I don't want to influence the crowd. I think I would be more Giannis, but I'm not going to be out on Jokic. But yeah, Bruce Brown, 4,100 on FanDuel, 4,500 on DK. We saw Bruce Brown get an opportunity at minutes already for this Nuggets team. He is guard forward eligible, so you can put him in 4 spots. 5 spots in your lineup, I guess, if you had the util. We saw 30 minutes out of him against Golden State, 30 fantasy points there. The 20 real points, I don't know if I'm like buying that at a high level, but I still know that Bruce Brown, we've been tracking him even to Brooklyn and Detroit. There's a world where he just like gets 4 of 3 peripherals and 10, 15 points, and at 4,500, I might fill a role here against the Lakers. So I don't mind that thought. KCP revenge game maybe sounds better than it did earlier. But Jamal Murray is intriguing. I think Jokic is the top guy for me. On the Lakers side, in the absence of Russell Westbrook tonight, we get to see a couple of guys afforded some more minutes. Lonnie Walker's at 5K on both sites, so that's kind of an uncomfortable click because I don't expect him to shatter 30 fantasy points more than he doesn't. Beverly's intriguing. Kendrick Nunn is really cheap on both sites, getting about a 25 fantasy point projection on that as well. They still have guys like Austin Reeves in the blender. I think the bulk of the interest or the big questions are going to be what to do with LBJ and AD. Almost 10K on DK for LBJ, 9.2 for Anthony Davis. I think LeBron James. Is this one of those slates where we look back at the night and LeBron leads the slate in fantasy points? It could be 60, 62 fantasy points, Golden State, Portland, little ESPN statement game. I'm fine with getting to him at an exceptional rate. And then AD, I'm fine with that as well. I don't know how much overlap I want to do, but I also don't think I'm going to disqualify them based on the minute projections to return here and no Westy. So I'm in on that. I think there's some fun clicks here. I'm curious to see where the ownership actually lands once we get to this game, and news and late swaps and all that crap happens during the slate. Big night coming from LeBron. Book it. I can see it. Şengün and Michael Porter are out. Yeah, Doug. Appreciate that. Any other bits of news before we get into the main event? Keegan Murray, nope. Just that Keegan Murray is starting. Cool. All right, one game left on the docket. Take a pause for the cause. Let you guys know that if you guys want to hang out with me the next couple hours, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat right here. Boom, NBA chat. Trying to cast the net over the news, make my player pool, keep tweaking projections, make my lineups. We just hang out every day before lock. If you guys want to get in that, go to RunDFS.com, click VIP memberships. Grab yourself a membership. This will also unlock the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. We also do NFL spreadsheets and baseball when it comes back around. I'm not really covering the rest of baseball because it doesn't exist to me right now. So if you guys want to join that, cool. We have every bankroll level. We literally have millionaires. We have guys grinding quarter arcades. Guys, our boy Fish Fan almost hit that 100K the other night. It's a lot of fun. So come be part of that. And then if you just want to be part of the free community, there's a link in the description below for the free RunDFS.com, or excuse me, the free Gundacker Gaming Discord. And you guys have been jumping in there. Shout out to Playmaker, Jay Laposa, Rim Shaker, My DFS Life, and I'll try to round up 4, 5, 6 of my favorite props that I'll attack on either site and for PrizePicks or Underdog, and throw them in there. And if you are a paid channel member, you have that membership here in this YouTube channel. There is a members only section of chat. If you guys ping me, I'll do my best to get a priority reply, but I also will always try and get my prop picks in there as well. So lots going on there. Joe Harris is better, but Rich going to get minutes. I don't know, man. I feel like Joe Harris 30 minutes with Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and I don't even think Joe Harris is getting 30 minutes. I'm just saying out loud. If you put the same 30 minutes on Jay Rich and Joe Harris, I just got a feeling Jay Rich has a higher floor game to game. All right, last game. Portland Trail Blazers hosting the Miami Heat. Project 35 for the Heat. Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Jimmy G, Buckets, Caleb Martin, Bam Adebayo taking on Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, and Yusuf Nurkic. 220 total, 2.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Miami Heat. 84 likes. Can we get to 100 before the end of this game? Kyle Lowry, somebody mentioned him. I don't have an obscene reason to be here. Tyler Hero finally starting to climb in price point. 7K on FanDuel, 6,900 on DK. his role in the offense has been really fluid, and he's shooting. Shooter's going to shoot 21 points a game so far. Is great for him. Jimmy Butler, 8,100 on FanDuel, 8,600 on DK. That's going to project decently well. And then Bam Adebayo, sure, not in love, but don't hate it. Couple clicks here. I think generally speaking, the Miami Heat on a big slate are a team that I don't tend to get too crazy attached to. I was in on the Tyler Hero games, the last two games out. The 7K price point is enough to make me a little bit scared, but I still think 40 plus is there, and he's not too expensive to not take a late night hammer 40 bomb. You know what I'm saying? 40 in 2 of his last 3 games. The game that he didn't, he got big time foul trouble, and he was on pace to crush that as well. So maybe life with Tyler Hero being a 7.5 to 8K player is on the way, and there's still a little bit of value here, and it's not like I'm running from the Blazers matchup. So I don't know, maybe this is a contrarian late tournament option here in Tyler Hero that has just been thriving as a starter alongside Jimmy Bucket. So let's go to Miami real quick. Here, what up, Gilbert? Hope you're doing all right. Let's put Hero on the court with Jimmy. Going 2v2 dilemma on FanDuel. Let's hear it, Bob. Bob had a baby. It's a boy. 25% usage since the beginning of last year while on the court with Jimmy Butler. And then since the beginning of this season, none in LeBron versus Jalen Green and Jimmy Butler. Probably none in LeBron. Yeah, probably none in LeBron. If it's a tournament upside type of thing. Because I think LeBron has a shot to be the lowest owned of the stud. Maybe not. 20%. Actually, LeBron's coming in lower than Giannis and Jokic at last glance. So maybe I am a liar. I guess he's too cheap. Either way, I would lean the none in LeBron side right now. This season, Hero, a 25% usage rate, 1.2 fantasy point per minute. Yeah, he's just really solid. Running it back here, Dame Dollar, making money ain't new to him. Looking for 50 plus, I could get behind that. 9,300 on FanDuel, 94. Again, I don't expect to have to give up too much equity in the portfolio lineups to be above. I'm there. Josh Hart, 6K, 5,800. Another one of those stocking stuffer, Bojan, Sadiq Bey type archetype players that I don't mind it. Good floor to ceiling ratio. We haven't seen a ceiling game, but 39-36, we'll take that. 20 against Denver did let me down, but the rebounds have been so solid for him. And we know that the Lakers really not great shooters. So what would be a Josh Hart rebound prop? 7? Wouldn't hate it. So we'll get some Dame. We'll get some Josh Hart. Nurkic, I'm a little bit worried about potential foul proneness against... Or no, I'm not. I don't know why I just crossed the Lakers up here mid-promo. I think just Dame, Hero are probably my favorite calls here. And then Jimmy Butler still too cheap on both sides. Jimmy Butler definitely has a chance to slip through the cracks if he just had that mid-40 game, mid-40 projection all across the board with the upside of 50 plus, especially if more lineups than not will go small forward, top end, the LBJs, the Giannis's and stuff like that. So there's a role where Butler thrives here. So a couple of clicks here. All right, chat. Let's throw a lasso around anything. If you guys are getting out of here, just hit the thumbs up on your way out. We should hit 100 before you do. That'd be lit. If you're on Twitter, twitter.com/Kundacker. Tomorrow, and by the way, I'm going to stick around if somebody has some questions. I got some time. I just do try to get you guys out of here before the deeper dive kicks off. Tomorrow's a 4-game slate. Late lock. I'm gonna say there's a maybe here. I gotta check my schedule. I think tomorrow's Thursday, right? I think me and Terry have to do a No House Advantage stream, so I don't want to double book myself. But there's a chance we go live tomorrow and hang out for a little bit on a 4-gamer. But there's also a chance we don't. If we don't, I'm just asking for forgiveness. but we will for sure be back Friday. And I may have Chronic back in the lab on Friday. We'll see. All right. So there's that. So we might be here tomorrow. We might not. Yeah. All right. So questions, comments, concerns. Let's go. Let's hear them. I have Giannis and LeBron in the same lineup on FanDuel. You like that? Is that unique? I think it's fine. Good enough. Yeah. I don't think that's bad. I think my FanDuel cash build would probably try to achieve that as well. Let's see. What would it take to do that? Giannis and LeBron. 5K per. That probably does involve Mr. Richardson. 46. Do like Trey Jones. Let's see. Projections. FanDuel. Value. I guess it would also probably involve Kendrick Nunn, right? Oh, Olynyk. Yeah, we're going to want that. Bruce Brown as well. So let's see. Brown. Olynyk. 53. I'm still getting 58 per. So I'm not going to give out a lineup here, but it's looking very, very possible. Yeah, it's looking possible. KPJ or Van Vliet. Man, I'm thinking KPJ for ceiling. I think Van Vliet has a really solid floor, but KPJ has a chance to, drop 50, 60 in a game to keep it competitive, Austin Reeves going to get 76 DKP against the Nuggets again tonight. This guy. How many minutes will Jabari Smith get tonight? I would assume similar to the last game. As far as the circumstances, there's nothing different, right? I guess the circumstances could change just based on Houston wanting to randomly start Garuba today. I don't know if they do. I'm just saying, they okie doked us with the Garuba start and bench, and then they started Jabari. But assuming the same team, the same plan is the thing, that I would assume the same minute expectations as far as the results that we got. So 30 minutes seems fair with Garuba and Şengün out. If he doesn't start, your guess is as good as mine, though. Thoughts on Nunn or Primo? So, do I think they're good plays? I think they're going to be pretty high-owned plays. Zalik, I appreciate that sub. I think with Nunn and Primo and these crazy value plays, I think our opinion should be a little bit more influenced by ownership. Primo was 1 in 5 owned, and I didn't see Nunn up there. Yeah, Nunn is a fraction of the ownership of those guys, so maybe that's one of those you make that decision later on with that same salary in the spot, and if you need a longer shot, you go with the Nunn side. And if you feel like your lineup's overperformed or where you want it to be, you go with the Primo side and hope the ownership can just keep you at pace with a success. But if you're struggling, like one of your guys dudded, that's where I would go with the way lower owned Nunn, if that holds up. Ownership is certainly going to change. If you're playing 1 line of 10 out of FanDuel, what 2 players are locked to make that lineup? Probably Kelly Olynyk, first and foremost. Not first and foremost, but you know what I mean. And then I want to say Giannis, but I don't want to give you guys the highest price guy. So I would go Kelly Olynyk. And going back to the value here, Kelly Olynyk and Trey Jones. Probably. Jones is way more appealing to me on DK. But probably Olynyk and Trey Jones would give me a solid over-project their price point starting point. I get them for less than 12K. I probably could see myself getting 70 plus fantasy points from the 2. So Olynyk and Trey Jones would be my answer from here. Any Isaiah Jackson love on FanDuel? That situation is going to be a mess all year, Bob. Understand that Miles Turner could come back today and make it even more of a mess. Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson, Miles Turner, Goga Bitadze, Terry Taylor. You know what I mean? Spin the wheel, make a deal, hope for the best, aim for the bushes. Who's the best 2 spend-up guys on FanDuel? I think for me it's going to be Giannis and Jokic. But LeBron exist. Gun, in your opinion, who's the highest scorer on the slate? I'm gonna say Giannis. Who's going to guard LeBron? I don't know. I'm not too worried about that. Probably Bruce Brown, KCP. Maybe. Is that it? Core 5. I got Dame, KPJ, LeBron, Oubre, and Vucevic, says Arizona. I can get down with that. Oubre is somebody I'm going to have to meditate on here in a minute as well. I don't actually meditate, though. But I know I made that joke a few times. All right, I guess that's it. All right, let's do that. If you guys do have any more questions for me, tag me in the Discord, twitter.com/Gundecker. And yeah, man, I appreciate you guys making part of my day. I really do. Tell somebody you love them. It's a crazy world. I love you, literally, figuratively, however you want to take it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow, for sure, some stochastic content. Look for me over there. Maybe some Gundecker gaming content. But if not, definitely Friday. And then if you're on Twitch, I'll be on Twitch tonight as well. Love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. Peace.